Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm
How are
sorry
you?
we're late. Well, very good actually. Very good.
Uh, yeah, me too now. My network is stable now, so
Mine as well, and everybody is
okay.
in the background now. So we had some
Yeah,
technical difficulties,
yeah.
but it's fine now.
Thank, thanks to the StreamYard.
And there's something very good that happened today. Nick is in
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yes, he's in
Oh my
time.
God. I
Oh, sorry,
almost ran out.
we haven't even started yet. Look,
Yes.
I'm just gonna bring them in, and I'm going to start with Nick because he was last. Hi, Nick.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Wayne.
Hello.
Jenny.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Lois.
Hello.
How do you like the new look?
Love it.
What? Woo!
Yeah,
Great.
10 out of 10.
Does
I have trouble looking
does
now,
everything
but
look
that's fine.
upside down?
No,
Does
no,
everything
but
look
it's
upside
very,
down?
it's very woozy.
Is it?
When I have an itch now, I can scratch. It does work.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I have to put it back. Oh, there we go. That's better.
Yes. I look like some kind of Chinese yeah.
How is everybody tonight?
Not too bad.
A bit tired, but other than that, I'm good.
Good.
Okay.
I'm doing
Jenny.
too many podcasts. That's what it
I'm
is.
good.
Well,
Little
that makes
snippy.
two of
I'm
us.
good.
That's the slave driver of a boss I've got. She's like cracking the whip and saying, "You've got to get onto this podcast. You've got to do this. You've got to do that." You get no reward for it. You know, she throws you a scrap of bread every now and then, and the weight just drips off, and it's just terrible. Oh, Lois, you're here. Oh, sorry.
Ah! Touchy me, touchy. Cheeky devil.
And the other boss man is also here, Nick.
Aye.
Yeah, and that slave driver as well. Yeah, he's the worst. I mean, he gets the whips and chains out, and that's it. You're in his dungeon forever.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Think how I feel. I'm like
All right, guys.
Let's start with the news. It was your idea, Jane. So, Wayne, you're from the news. You had something about EVP, electric vehicles?
But I know we said we were going to talk about EVPs, and of course, I'm like the electric vehicle phenomena. Wow, you know, we're talking about a good subject.
Yeah.
I think it's more the fact that we've all been pushed into using electric vehicles, making out that they are more environmentally friendly, they're more cost efficient, and we are now seeing figures that they are not cost effective. They are costing us more than what they are worth, and the environmental impact is actually more than a fossil fuel driven car.
Yeah,
It's
they
not.
are.
It's not the fact of the running of that vehicle; it's the manufacturer of that vehicle. And in that manufacturing of that one electronic vehicle, they are actually creating more pollutants than I think they worked out. It was something like 17 fossil fuel cars in its lifetime.
Wow.
So the environmental impact is a lot more serious than a fossil fuel car. So we're now seeing the fact that the electric cars aren't worth what we're doing to the planet.
Exactly.
They cost
And
more to run, and they cause more pollution. It's something to do with some of the acids that they use to obtain the battery materials, and it's what happens with that acid once it's been finished being used, once it's been spent. and
Yep.
that's the impact that it's having, and it's more than what fossil fuel car would.
Yeah, it is.
So, and of course, when you go and buy one, I mean, look at the price of a Tesla.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Prices are.
And then when the
rising.
battery-
Who knows?
And
I'm
when the
surprised.
battery goes, they're expensive to replace.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
over here. They're well over. I think it was like $170,000. I think.
That's bloody crazy.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that I've even seen one around. And I see, since Kate and Robert are watching, I'm just gonna say this for them. Every time I see one of those Teslas, because of the box shape of them, to me, oh sorry, I just noticed my cat just
Behind
jumped.
you.
To me, they almost look like something out of Minecraft, in my opinion. Just the way how they look.
Oh my God.
But they are. I mean, especially the Tesla trucks. They're very square.
Yeah, the Tesla trucks. That's what I mean.
You know, the cars aren't so bad, but the trucks, I'm just like, why would you want to drive around in something like that?
And I've seen
Yeah.
inside of one. I've seen what they
I
look
had
like.
seen a video on Facebook where somebody actually tested a Tesla truck and tested it with a normal standard truck.
Mhm.
And the second it hit a bump, the whole thing fell apart.
Oh my God.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
There was
Yeah.
the first bump he hit, the bumper fell off. Then they said,
Yeah.
"Well, we're gonna tow it out of a ditch. We'll see what happens." And they connected a tow chain to the tow bar, and as they went to pull it, it ripped the back bumper off, and then the
Oh.
actual tow bar came away.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're going to design something that is supposed to be what they're classing as a truck, you need it to have the bodywork of a truck and not fall
Yeah.
apart the second you flick it. And,
Exactly.
it's
The day
way
they-
too much.
The day they start making Tesla airplanes,
No.
Hell no.
Tesla airplanes. That'd be
No.
Oh, imagine.
I will
But
swim.
again, this is what annoys me is they
Yeah.
stand there and say we're going to get rid of fossil fuels by 2030. So how are you going to power? How are you going to power an aircraft?
Yeah.
How are you going to power a?
do they have a spare
you know-
battery in the cargo in case we need to change battery mid-air? No,
Yeah.
no.
An articulated truck. An articulated truck cannot gain enough energy to power and pull the weight that it's needed. So your battery is going to be bigger than the truck.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and it's
So
going to
again, it's not going to be cost efficient. So you need
Right.
fossil fuels for certain aspects.
well, that's
Um,
true. It would cause more damage. It would
Yeah,
cause
exactly.
Yeah, it would.
So
the waste of the battery, the recycling of the battery, and so on and so on. No,
exactly.
figures are high.
And then
No.
someone had also said about things like cruise ships where they're diesel powered. And I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, you've got nuclear powered submarines, you've got nuclear powered aircraft carriers. So you can have a nuclear powered cruise ship. How many people would want to go on a nuclear powered cruise ship is going to be a completely different matter.
No.
Because I personally wouldn't want to go on a nuclear powered cruise ship.
Catapult them in the sky, Mark.
I know, right?
You know, so I don't think our race is not ready for that technology.
No.
The technology isn't ready for us, and we're not ready for it.
Right,
And until it can be mastered, they need to leave it as it is.
right, absolutely.
But of course, they're more worried about the environment and the CO2 levels. And I raised a point when I saw on TikTok that in Iceland, they have made an oxygen scrubber, very similar to what they have on the submarines, where it takes in the air and it recycles it through a series of filters and takes out the CO2 and releases the other chemicals, the other gases into the atmosphere again.
Okay.
Now, I'm like, hang on a minute, there's a problem here. You're going to take the CO2 out of the air, and you're looking at wanting these plants in every country around the world. What are you going to do to the trees? And somebody actually replied, well, everything will be a lot better when we take out the CO2 out of the air. I said, no, you won't, because you'll kill the trees.
Yeah.
All the plants that rely on CO2 for photosynthesis, taking in the CO2, release the oxygen, you're going to kill them because you have taken away the CO2 from the air that they need to breathe.
Absolutely.
They breathe CO2 and give out oxygen. You take that CO2 out of the equation, and it's goodbye plants, goodbye us.
Because
Yeah,
they're thinking about the future and not thinking about now. What we've since we were all born, what we've had since even before we were born. What was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You know, but
They know
that's
for a
what
fact.
They
They know for a fact that when there's a volcanic eruption, there's more CO2 going into the atmosphere than we could ever possibly clear up.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So
That is-
you think of all the volcanoes that there are around the world that are still spewing out CO2 into the air. You could have these oxygen scrubbers all over the place, and one volcano goes up, and those oxygen scrubbers are a complete waste of time.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yeah, you're absolutely
struggling
right on
with
that.
this, at this
Yeah.
point.
But it's all about money. Oh, it's a good idea.
is.
Let's throw $13 million at this. And
Yeah.
we've already seen with the wonderful thing that Elon Musk has done with the American finances, has found that money has been spent, $1 trillion has been spent on other countries' things like
that.
gender neutrality in Guatemala.
I've seen that, and then an LGBTQ party in Dublin, in Ireland.
Yeah.
I wasn't told about that party.
And the thing is, that's $1 trillion. They've worked it out that it's $1 trillion where they've been saying we're going to put America first. That $1 trillion has gone to other countries around the world.
Yep.
Nothing to do with America.
Right,
No.
right.
Yeah.
That's the
You'd at least
same.
get
That's
some
the same
rights.
thing. That's the same thing for the UK, though.
Yeah.
The UK is splashing money around the world, and like our healthcare is falling down round about us. You know, the pressure that the
Yeah.
healthcare is under is ridiculous. As Adam Paul says,
Aye.
you know, doing it in the UK, but it's pensioners exactly are freezing. And I think I don't think it's just the UK thing. I don't think it's just the American thing. I think there's a lot more countries that do it as well.
Yeah, every country's government has a sort of like a verbal agreement to give foreign aid. But it's down to the level of foreign aid that they give. And it's not a contract. It's not a binding contract at all. So you can chop and change the amount you give. But when you look deep into the policies that they are giving the money to, they are things that really nobody should be getting involved with apart from that country that wants to do that thing.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, Brazil decided they wanted all their public toilets to be gender neutral, then France should not be giving them €2 million to go around with signposts to put on their toilets to say this is a gender neutral toilet. Because it's technically got nothing to do with France. It's a policy that Brazil has decided to do. So they shouldn't rely on another person's or another country's money to do so.
Why would they have done that in the first place? Why fund something else in a different country? Like you said, there's no contract, there's no agreement to doing it. Why just willy-nilly do it? Like Ireland?
I think what they're trying to do is trying to get a foothold in these countries. If you give a country $16 million, for whatever reason, there's this sort of disagreement there of friendship. And it's all right. Well, if we give you $16 million, when we need to do this in this country, you're going to be nice and help us stage what we need to get over to that country and so on. Right. So it's you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours and so on.
And even can I say the word? President Trump, he owns land in Ireland. He doesn't have to give us anything, but he does. He owns land, you know, and, he doesn't have to give anything over here, but he wasn't president at the time that the money was sent over. So, I mean, I'm just raging I wasn't invited to the bloody party, you know, champagne all around.
I mean, he's got golf courses in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was invited, Jenny, and you weren't.
Jenny's going to be going on about that party the whole evening. I swear.
Yes, I will
Yes.
be.
Well, if you'd have seen me on the Dark Mirror radio show on Monday night, you would have all peed yourselves laughing because I looked like I'd been applying Donald Trump's tan.
Oh no!
I've seen the show.
My hands were bright, well, sort of were going dark brown because Ellen had her fake tan done and she needed me to do her back for her. And the gloves split and my hands got covered in this fake tan. And
it was
no matter how much I tried to wash it off, it just would not come off. So I went to bed anyway, woke up the following morning and my hands were dark brown. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got a live show to do tonight. If I pick up my cups, people are going to see the line down the side. It was hilarious. Good fun.
The thing about it is, I've got a wee confession. I got drunk once at my pal's house and he gave me fake tan. And when I was drunk, I thought this would be great fun. So I did try and put it on. I said, this is a load of shite. This doesn't work. Chucked the bottle, fell asleep, and woke up like a zebra.
Yeah. the one we used, if you put it on, and for an hour, it gives you one skin tone. If you put it on for 2 hours, it's a darker skin tone, and then 3 hours, it's the darkest skin tone. I had mine on my hands overnight, so it was like 8 hours. This stuff was on my hands, and I literally, it looked as if I'd been out in the garden and rubbed my hands with the dirt for all day. And I'm like, oh dear, I think I've got a problem. But it was that bad that now this ring glows in the dark normally. But the tanning solution has gone into that. It no longer glows.
Oh.
So I've now got to go out and buy more glow in the dark rings because I use them when I'm out on investigations. Okay. Because they glow in the dark, I power them up. Yeah. So obviously I put a bright light onto them, it powers them up. Yeah, so while we're on investigations, I've got glow in the dark rings on my hands so people can see my hands aren't moving.
Oh, okay.
So it rules out any fakery because if you hear something moving, they go, was that you? Was that you? So, well, no, my hands are here. You can see they're here. And I'll go like this. I go, look. And I'll go, oh, yeah, we can see them.
I've actually... Sorry, Jen, when you go.
Go ahead.
I have got a tip for you, Wayne. Seriously, straight up, it will help.
Yes. Go on.
Paint yourself in luminous paint. Everyone will see you for miles.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, we should all paint yourself in luminous. It's exactly the same as well.
If I stand in the dark, people see me anyway. They go, what's that light bobbing up and down in the room there?
It's an orb.
Okay, guys. Easy peace.
I'm sorry, bad girl.
No, I love it. The first 20 minutes, so we made fun of everything.
Yes.
We talked about your EVPs, Wayne. So now we're going to talk about ours.
Yeah.
The real EVPs.
Let's start with the first question. I asked it in Dutch audio guy. When do you classify it a class A or B or C? Jenny, do you want to?
Gosh, what I use what? Because it's my thing.
Yes, I know.
I love it. I love it way too much. For me, when I'm doing audio, Class A EVP is something I do not need to explain to anyone. as we would all know that. People just get it. I watched a video today of a Class A EVP, or it was a DVP, because the guy heard it, and the camera didn't pick it up, or the recorder didn't pick it up, but the camera picked it up, or something like that. But it was just fantastic. The Class A EVP is something that you do not have to explain. It is there. You all get it at the same time. We got it. I've gotten that before in Left Castle. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And we all, when you look at each other and you just know, you say the same thing at the same time, instead of like one to another, because Chinese whispers, you say at the same time, what did you hear? And we all say at the same time. Different sentences, of course, but the same thing of what we heard. Class B would be, something is there. You got to listen to it a million times. Or that's me saying a million times, but you got to listen to it more than one time to break down what you're hearing and make something out of it, or figure out what's being said, and the location and the room you've been in. Does it match the room you've been in? It might not. And a Class C is something I would put on file. We can hear something. We have no idea what it is. It's not good enough to put up, but it's a Class C. There is something there, and we tag it, we write it down, we put it in the file. That's a Class C. And a Class D, you erase it. You erase it. So that's how I think my Class A, B, C, and D is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
Yep, I definitely agree.
So
definitely.
There is a Class E.
Oh, there is, really?
Yeah. There is Class E is forgetting to press record in the first place.
Actually, I would have thought that would have been Class F, because it does start with forget.
No, yeah, Class F is forgetting to take the EVP recorder with you in the first place.
Oh well, that. In fact,
the amount of times I've gone into an area and we've heard something, and we've gone, "Oh my God, I should be recording this," but we've forgotten to record it, or I haven't brought the EVP recorder with me, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, what a donut!" And I'm thinking, why? This is an important piece of equipment I should take with me everywhere I go. And then it dawned on me, why am I paying for a dictaphone or an EVP recorder and I have my mobile phone in my hand?
I was going to say, use your mobile phone recorder. That's good too. Good too, yeah.
You can get you got your voice recorder apps that you can download and put onto your phone. That will then record your EVPs. Or failing that, your video camera. You don't have to worry too much about the video itself, but you've got the audio there, which when you put it onto the computer, you can separate the audio from the video, and you've got your EVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I always manage to forget it. And the amount of times, we've recorded EVPs on an EVP app at a fort, a Napoleonic fort, and we were in the prison area, and I was told to use my rank and try and call out the spirit that was in the prison cell. So I called out, "Corporal Seaton K842 305244, please come forward for inspection." And this voice phenomena came out on the recorder telling us to F off.
I love when they do that.
I think
we literally kept playing it back, and we're going, "No, that definitely tells us to F off." So we went, "Right, we're going, bye, see you later," and we walked out. It was so clear as well. It was almost as if one of us two had said it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We were both standing there with the recorder in our hands.
That's brilliant.
And then we played it back, and we go, "Look, it comes through here," and you could hear it. It wasn't either of our voices. It was really low and gruff, but it clearly said it.
I think
and we're like, yeah.
It's the most common EVP. It's the F off one.
Yeah.
I think, anyway, because it said to me an awful lot.
I was going to say, it's starting to occur more often nowadays.
You're right.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
very popular way of telling people to go away, isn't it?
No.
I only
Yeah.
get the go away part. I never get the F off. I'm still waiting
Yes,
for it to
I
happen.
did. I did.
I think I
Yeah,
had
you
something
see?
ever happen once, not necessarily with the EVP, but one of the spirit boxes we had, in which we got a response from that. So that's happened at least once. I don't remember exactly where, but it was a few years ago that we had we had that type of response.
I love the responses, especially when especially when you're in places like prisons. Now, you most expect it for prisons because that's the way that they obviously talk in prisons. And I've had F you bastard. When I'm like that, what do you know about my dad? And I laughed because it was kind of like, okay then. I've been with people who've been abused by spirit. I was with Robbie Crossan, and and the EVP called him a fat bald bastard. It was great fun.
That, and because they're obviously intelligent, that will kind of say these things back to you. But do you ever kind of have a fight with one to say, I go,
Yeah.
and argue back with them, and I walk in and people say, Jenny, how do you ground yourself? And I'm like, I don't, but I do in my mind, saying today is not the day, and I'm not the one. Less than you haven't met me, have you? No, let's not do it. We went location on Saturday night in a convent, and I have a thing about nuns and priests. I really don't like them. And I walked, oh, Jesus, I walked around everywhere. I said things I probably shouldn't have. So, well, if you want to say something and you don't want to say it, tell me and I'll bloody well say it. Well, we did the crying, and I just said in the mirror, I said, you're evil. You work for the devil. Oh, there's nothing I didn't say. It was a great session. It was brilliant. But yeah, that's me fighting. Like, do you ever fight with, like, have an argument with, on location with spirit, ghost, whatever people want to call them? Because I do. People say, Jenny, you'd fight in the room by yourself. I'm in a room with nobody else. But yeah, I probably, I have done, yeah. Have you ever done it? Have you ever just
had
an argument? You did?
Yeah, I have, and it depends on the energy that's hanging in the room. Because if it's very pressure-like energy and it doesn't feel good, and you're like, why do you have to be like that? Because I'm not doing anything yet. And then I start cursing at them, and then I'm like, what do you want? What the F do you want? It's not gonna be nice. No.
Yeah, and it's real stuff. It's real history. It's not made up history. It's fact. Like when we went to the convent is amazing because we worked with an amazing team, and the convent is a fantastic, beautiful building. But reality and history is history, and the truth hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kind of. I mean, we always go with respect, but then. You have to ask the questions that you really don't want to ask, but I do, because I do. And that, you kind of ask them stuff, which I did, which I'm going through a video and whatnot, so I can get back.
We all have to go on investigation together once, I swear.
Yes, we do.
I'll go over to the Netherlands, get your ass over to Ireland. We got to do.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
I mean, we've had spirits turn around to us and tell us to go away, and we've turned back round to them and gone, if you want us to go away, you're going to have to do something to make us go away. We're not going until you do something. And so we end up sitting there for ages, and it just goes silent. We get the silent treatment from them, and we're like, nah, this ain't right. You've told us to go away. We've told you, do something, and we'll go.
Yeah.
Compromise. But
nope.
They just keep us hanging on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Maybe Sorry, go ahead.
I said I saw a great question. Mark Reynolds. What about pareidolia effect, which I hear a lot about in EVPs at the moment? So Who
I had
wants
to look
to
for it.
drop?
Found it.
Right. Yeah. That's it. That's EVPs, as we know, we hear, and you can have EVP pareidolia as well. You think you heard something, and 5 people will tell you that completely different sentence to what you've heard, and just because, like, if you do audio for like 10 years or whatever, because what you hear doesn't always mean it's right, and I've been proven of that. And pareidolia, the EVPs, you can you can agree they're saying something, you don't know what they're saying, but you can go back and get that, work in those questions again. Pareidolia is a lot more controversial. It's a lot more argumentative, I think, when it comes to paranormal teams and what they see when they circulate something, and it could be a multitude of things. Whether what's the word I'm trying to use? I forget the word I'm trying to use. Agent of a building. I forget the word.
Someone's cat yelling.
Yeah, that is the word, I think.
Exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, so pareidolia is a multitude of weather, buildings, old buildings, dust. Yes, Toby, you want to get into it? Come on, let's get into it. Come on, Toto.
It's like your cat's going into space. It's like your cat's going
Steve. No, I've got Stephen running about the house thinking it's Icora. He thinks it's Icora because they can hear your cat.
Oh, that's Toby. That's Toby loves. It used to be Hope all the time with her snoring, and now Toby is coming in.
I was going to say, it seems like Toby's kind of filling in for Hope snoring.
Hope is. Oh, look, this is Hope. This is Hope. Hold on, let me get your Hope, right? This is Hope.
Oh,
that's Hope. She's kaput. She's done. On her back, laying down. She will snore in a few minutes. But anyway, that's what I think of pareidolia. I just think it's a lot of different. I mean, I said to my daughters one time last summer, and I said, look into the summertime, and I said, look up to the sky, and I said, tell me what you see in the clouds. And they say they see many different shapes, and I said, that's called pareidolia. So I explained to them what pareidolia is, which was a great example of the clouds, what it looks like, but it's not really. So Toby, hold on. Toby, hold on.
It's difficult because I hate it when you see these teams that they're spending a lot of time promoting themselves and making out they're bigger than they actually are when they're not. They're just the same as everybody else. Exactly. It's just because they've got money behind them, or they've done the right things in the right way to sort of make themselves look bigger than they actually are. And then they turn around and go, we've caught this EVP. Listen to this. It clearly says blah, blah, blah. And I'm that's the power of suggestion. Straight away, you're putting that thought into people's heads. And this is where EVP pareidolia comes into play. The power of suggestion is put in that word says such and such. So when you hear it, you're automatically thinking, well, I can't hear it saying what he's just told me it is.
Nope.
But it's definitely saying something. So you rewind it and play it again. Then you get a digital analyst comes along and says, well, I'll clean up this. And so we can try and hear exactly what is being said. And then when he's finished cleaning it up, he goes, it doesn't say that at all. It says this. And it's very similar to the videos that go out there with the red square and something else.
Yeah.
And no matter which way you listen to it, your mind can make it sound like either one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's just a play of words. So when you get this garbled EVP comes through, there's a lot of static and it's not 100% clear. You could be spending hours trying to analyze that and not be any clearer than the minute you started.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I remember one time I got one of my best EVPs, and it was through the ICT, what we did on the night, phone to phone recorder and so on. And then I had it for about a year, and I got the first half of it. That's all I knew it was there, the first half of it. My daughter's friend came in and wanted to hear some audio, so I said I played this one for her, my favorite part. And she said to me, Jenny, I can hear this at the end of it. I'm like, okay, teenager, I'm doing audio for years. What would you know? No, it can't be right. It was exactly what she said. And so the whole sentence makes up the part of the jigsaw puzzle for that area of that location. And she got it. So what we don't hear, which now I hear it as clear as we were talking. Toby, enough. Toby. And now that I can hear that end piece, look, I should have heard it a year ago, but I didn't. And how that happened, I do not know. When that dog cat passes away, I'm gonna hear that meow in an EVP.
Definitely.
I'll be hearing that tonight in my sleep. I'll be thinking it's like horror.
I'll be giving his 2 cents.
I get that anyway. If I go to bed, one of the 4 cats will be at the bedroom door meowing to want to come in. But no, you stayed out there.
You know, all this talk about EVPs, I mean, when it comes to like what you were just saying, Wayne, about like how just some of them obviously just have that garbled, muffled kind of sounds. But I actually do have an EVP that you guys might find this hard to believe, but at the time that I got this EVP, I was only 14 years old. So it was just a part-time investigation, understandably. And I was using it. Obviously, this was back in 2007. So at that time, we were still using the old digital recorders before we could use our phones or whatever, or really one of those digital recorders that you couldn't really plug into your computer to transfer the audio in. So to this day, I still don't know exactly what it's saying. I know it's saying, like, the first 2 are saying it's saying I am, and the rest of it we still cannot identify. But then again, too, at the time that we recorded it, you could hear me talking a little bit in the background. And it was just I think I only ever recorded just like 25, 30 seconds of audio when that EVP was taken. And we still don't know the clearance of what we got that day over 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
they sometimes have those EVPs.
Yeah.
I love EVPs. I'm fascinated by it. Absolutely fascinated. And I know a lot of people. I know when I was in Cork at the weekend and I was in Dublin and I was talking to a guy and he was saying that, and what's your trip for today? And I'm like, I'll come away down to Cork. We're doing an investigation, And he goes, do you believe in ghosts? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm doing it a very long time and I do believe in it. What do you think? Then he gave me his story of breaking the car when he's seen somebody running across the road. And he gave me his story and I was like, I love it because, I'm glad that you got it. I'm glad because he probably said it to a million people that probably don't do the paranormal or don't believe in it and so on. And I said, now you have met me today. I believe you. That it's genuine and legit because he told me everything. What he said, did you ever see a ghost? And I said, or a spirit? And I'm like, I did a long time ago. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And you could say it a million times, but people won't get it. I wish we had, if they're going to create anything apart from the EVP cars or trucks, they should create a projector that you can have from your mind when you're telling a story that people can see what you're talking about.
Yes.
So if they're going to do anything, do that. But
that'd be cool.
It would be great, wouldn't it? But then again, you really see everybody's thoughts. Maybe not. Maybe only the story that we're talking about.
just the stories. Just the stories.
Only the story.
So look at some comments because it's very cool. I see. Yeah, there are a lot.
Which one do you want? There are a lot.
Let's scroll.
We'll start.
Right.
I start with Laura. Coming back to the when you have a video and you have the EVP playing in there and you suggest what it says, instead of suggesting it, just say, "What do you hear?"
That's right.
Because that's using your own ears.
That's the best.
That's actually what I do in my videos when I make a video, and it's been a long time now. But when I do make a video and there's an EVP in there, I always say, "What do you hear?"
Right.
I started with "I hear this," but I'm not going to do that anymore.
I did.
I've also
I gave that up.
also used subtitles. You know, when sometimes you can do a live show and you can get subtitles put on so that the viewer can actually read what's being said rather than hearing what's being said. If you switch that on with certain programs, you can switch those subtitles on. You can make the computer listen and come out with a suggestion of what it could hear and understand.
Right. Well, there's just by saying that, Wayne, I did a show a few weeks ago and I had subtitles on, and let me tell you something. I'll send it in the group chat because it came up with words that probably, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, how do I get that off the live? How do I take it off? Because it said words that, I swear to you, it was the funniest thing ever. I myself and my friend Chris, we were in pain with laughing, but I'll send it in the private group chat because I would use it, but what I'll send in the group chat will be what came up on the live, and it's a little bit like Derek Akora.
Oh wow.
His line came up against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it a few times, me and Lois, with the Scottish accent. Subtitles and the AI behind the subtitles doesn't quite sometimes pick up what Lois says. And when you look at the sentence, it comes out with complete nonsense. And you're like, hang on a minute. No, I think we better turn the subtitles off because this is talking about picking cabbages on a Sunday when Lois is actually talking about going out and getting a decent EVP or something. You know, it completely misunderstands what you've said and comes out with something completely different. And so you're like, no, just get rid of the subtitles because it's not making any sense.
I got rid of mine after that. So I got rid of mine. Yeah, we're not doing subtitles again. Absolutely not.
It's difficult. Sometimes it can be a good tool, other times it can be a hindrance.
Right.
It's not my fault that I can't say cryptids. I mean, cryptids.
That's why I don't say
Look,
cryptics.
we've got that. We've got Pacific. You know, specific. Aye, that one.
Pacific. Say it again, Willow. Pacific.
Purple burglar alarm.
So you'd be no good at supercalifragilisticexpialidocious then.
No, I am. Kiss my fucking atty. Leave me alone, Mark. No one can understand me. I know.
Even the subtitles are wrong.
The thing is, though, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with understanding what you're saying. It's those that aren't listening properly that suffer with that problem.
Right.
That's why I'm going to get speech lessons so that I can speak properly.
Elocution lessons.
You don't need speech lessons.
No. Instead of saying F off, I could say that's nice.
Hey, that's exactly what I just backed my hand off the table. When me and Jacqueline do investigations and somebody says something, I look at Jacqueline and I say, that's nice. That's exactly when you said that's nice, I look at
like Mrs. Brown from Mrs. Brown's Boys. That's nice.
And I look at Jacqueline and I'm like, somebody say something like, that's nice. And she goes, isn't it? And I'm like, that's nice. Me and like, thank. Just bang my hand on the table there, getting all excited because we say the same thing.
It's like, woo!
Should be laughing now seeing this.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely.
That's funny.
I can listen the Irish and the Scots, and because my daughter's half Scottish. So yeah, I kind of know the lingo a wee bit.
It's even that bad. See, when I'm doing a live and I get so excited, and when I get very, very excited, I start going full blown Scottish, and I'll be like, "I come home," and then I go, "Oh, wait a minute, people," and then I'll stop dead, And even like for Mary, because I know Mary can't understand me muchly, but what I'll do is I'll slow down my words, like for Mary, but then when I get excited, I go up to a high again. So then I'm like, and Mary's like, what the hell?
You end up sounding like Zed from Police Academy.
I don't understand Willow.
This is why sometimes I love Google Translate, because I really feel for Mary. So what I'll do is I'll Google Translate it, and then I think to myself after I wrote it, that better be exactly what it says, and I'm not sending Mary abuse. And she's going, what have I done?
The worst one is Chinese, because when you put Chinese into Roman letters, it's basically two sentences in one. It's the word itself and how you pronounce the tone of the word. And if you say one word the wrong way, you could be calling your mum a horse.
Well,
I think it's ma, but it's how you say it, because it could be ma or ma, and there's like 26 different ways to pronounce it. And if you pick the wrong way to pronounce it, you could be actually insulting somebody.
And they say the English is the most hardest language to learn. When we just say your ma, in Ireland, it's like your ma means one thing, your mother. Your ma.
Yeah, but in China, if you were to say that, so I'm going to go back home to my ma, they'll be going, "Why are you going home to your horse?"
Correct.
You know? So, but I can understand. I could understand why people would misunderstand an EVP, simply because there is so much interference with a lot of EVPs, and it's open to interpretation. So it's how each individual hears what is being said, how they interpretate what is being said, and then what that person has interpreted against what other people have interpreted. So like we said earlier, when somebody turns around and goes, like Mr. Baggins does a lot on his shows, did that just say, go away? And somebody else will turn around and go, yeah, it did, yeah, power suggestion. So straight away, everybody starts agreeing. And then all it takes is that one person to go, well, no, I don't. I think it said something to do with today. Sounds similar to go away, but it said today. And you then have to analyse it again. So then more and more people start looking into it and they go, oh, I don't know. I don't think it did say go away. I think it said this. And then other suggestions can start coming in. And then you end up with a complete mess up. So that you've got to sit there for hours analysing it properly, try to clean it up a little bit, try and break it down so that you could get that word.
Yeah, there was one example about Baggins, about an EVP that he gave a suggestion to. That was a so-called Kill Aaron. I can remember that clearly. And it wasn't Kill Aaron.
Yeah.
It was something completely different, because I heard something completely different. I have no idea what it was, because I can't remember that episode anymore. But I was like, why do you keep doing that? That's annoying the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And he still does it to the day, for what I
mean, and that's the thing with these big shows, because it's for entertainment purposes. For him to say, oh, that just said Kill Aaron.
Yeah,
that is controversial. That's entertainment. That's like the wow factor, and that's essential for them for entertainment purposes. So if they come out with something like that, it's in their favour. But if he was to be honest and tell the truth of what it really said, even despite the fact that we've listened to it and gone, no, you don't say that.
Yeah.
No,
they've already done that and passed it on.
There were a lot of people who said that it didn't say Kill Aaron, even people who weren't experts in EVP.
Right.
So it was very clear that it didn't say Kill Aaron. So I was like, that's stupid. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
But
do you know what?
Get off my lawn.
Do you know what I find fascinating is when, like, with yourselves in relation to Shane and Mary, is you guys are from a different country, so you speak a different language. You've got your own native language, right? What I'm always fascinated with, and I've seen it happen because with the first team that I was with, Ghost Hunter Scotland, we were out in an investigation with a Russian journalist who was doing this article on paranormal and things. And we tested and said to her to ask something in her own language. So she asked something like, what was the colour of something?
Yeah.
And the response we got back was in English. And this is what I find the most fascinating is that, like, people from different countries asking different questions. This is a question, it's kind of, you know, a comment and a question at the same time that I really want to ask you guys that I've always been meaning to ask, right? So, obviously, when you guys are doing EVPs in the Netherlands, right, and you are speaking Dutch, do you get the response in Dutch or do you get the response in English? I'm just curious to see if, like, if you get the response back in your own language or if you get it in English.
I have
Uh,
been having answers in English, French, German.
yeah,
What else did we have?
Spanish.
Spanish, yeah, and
Yes.
Italian.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, we get different languages, even if
I've
we
had
ask
I've
questions
had
in Dutch.
responses. I've had responses in Greek before.
Yeah,
That's
I
good
heard
as
you
well.
tell about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
very
But that
cool.
fascinated
was
with it.
but that was only because I was in Athens at the time, and I was at the Acropolis and the amphitheaters in Athens itself, and I wasn't recording EVP. I was actually recording video because while we were there, we were on a place called St Paul's Mount, which is just a little bit, literally 2-minute walk from where the Acropolis is, and all it is just a pile of rocks. But while we're all sitting there taking a break, ready to go back down to some of the other areas of interest, we heard what we could only describe was like the horns of Jericho, that sound that has been heard in the sky all over the world. We heard something that was very similar to that.
Cool.
And we were like, okay, that's a bit weird. And so I started filming with my phone. And we're walking around. We then ended up going back down over to the amphitheatre. We walked in there because it was suggested that it was somebody practicing the French horn or something similar in the amphitheatre because they do hold concerts in there still. And we walked in there and all there was a caretaker banging some nails in on the stage and just
That is
tourists.
weird.
But nobody had a French horn or anything that could have made that noise. And I just turned around and went,
just gotta throw that out. Sorry, saw Tom was in there. They had to say pickle Tom. Sorry, Wayne, go on.
I just turned around and I went, oh, thanks for that. That was a waste of a journey. And literally, when I played it back, it said "Afaristo," which is Greek for thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm like, who said that? There's no one near us, and we only have because my sister and her husband is Greek. There was her 2 sons, so they would have spoken Greek as well. But the voice wasn't either of them 3, and it wasn't us. But you hear this weird voice say, "I've had a stove back," and I'm like, okay, that's bizarre. So
definitely.
I think if you ask the question in English, you are likely to get the response in English. And I think partly as well because English is, I mean, people will argue it because obviously there's Spanish and Chinese as well. But English is probably one of the most commonly spoken languages in the world. So there is no reason why a ghost wouldn't respond in English.
Okay.
But, their native language, I would understand.
Yeah.
So
when we were down in the convent, we were calling out in English, and we were getting Gaelic responses back. And then we replied back in Irish, in Gaelic, because they kept speaking in Gaelic. Not always, but they did some of it. When one of them was getting really annoyed, they'd speak back in Gaelic. And then I'd reply back in Gaelic,
Yeah.
some words that I know in Gaelic. You gotta watch the live to see what I said.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would stand to reason if you ask the question in a different language, they're going to respond in a different language.
Well, they spoke to us in. We spoke to them in English, and they replied. Well, it was nuns, so they replied back to us in Gaelic, and that's I like it. I love it. It teaches. It kind of gets us going with the language and whatnot. But I'm so glad my friend, I'm not going to say who it is because she'd probably bust me if I said that she taught me these bad words in Irish. You'd think I know. Well, we all know Pogue Mahone. Do we know what Pogue Mahone means?
No.
Kiss my ass.
I don't. I was going to say, I don't think I want to know.
Pogue Mahone.
See if I can't speak English, how chance do I have speaking Gaelic? Can you imagine?
That's the most knowing Gaelic word, Pogue Mahone, and it doesn't. The spelling looks nothing like the sound of it, which is really.
Jenny, I would end up saying poke my hole instead of poke.
Stayed in Ireland, and I don't know what they'll do with that, but they'll probably just like, oh, she's trying to say poke my hole. They probably won't do that. But they'll probably, know what you're trying to say is Pug Mahone.
This is why you can't teach me. Don't get me wrong, I know Polish. I know a wee bit of Polish because I used to work with a lot of Polish. So they would teach me things. I'd teach them things.
I know one in Polish. That's it.
Oh, I know a couple. That's why I'm going to look at Shane and Mary to help me speak Dutch.
I'm going to Google.
I tried it. I have a Greek friend, and we agreed I will teach him Dutch, and he will teach me Greek. So I taught him schatje, and every time I speak to him, he says schatje patatje. So it doesn't make sense at all. And I call it Malacca. So, yeah. But I learned the bad words as well. God sake.
See, even in Chinese, I can say a good few words in Chinese.
Yeah.
But that's because I have a dude in Chinese TikTok that teaches me Chinese. It just teaches me how to say certain words that wouldn't be appropriate for the show.
Vietnamese. Imam nanyo doda mai gonto.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fluid.
You don't know what it means. Imam nanyo doda mai gonto.
The funny thing is, though, sometimes you can't trust Google Translate, because I went into a Chinese takeaway, and I wished the lady in there Happy New Year in Chinese or Mandarin, and I got told off for pronouncing it wrong. I'm like, for God's sake, I can't win.
Was it Chuck Namoy? Chuck Mong? Oh, fuck! What is it? In Chinese. I know it. I just don't know. I just don't know it right now.
I'll tell you a story when we go off air. When I worked in Kia and I worked in a Chinese unit, and I'll tell you the story off air. It was funny as hell.
Yeah, go for it.
I had these tattooed on my arm, right? So I got that one there.
That's number 69.
Right. And this one here.
Okay.
And I spoke to my Chinese friend who works in a Chinese takeaway. And I said to her, can you confirm? Because I've had these done. It's too late to have it reversed. I said, but can you tell me what these say? And she went, why are you worried about it? I said, because I would hate it to say egg fried rice and chicken chow mein. And she went, no. She said, you'll find the left one says tiger and the right one says dragon. And I went, okay, that's cool. And she went, why did you have them done? Because that's Shaolin monks. And I said, well, at the time I was studying Kung Fu. And I told her, and she went, that is really appropriate for you to have those tattooed on your shoulder. Normally they would have a mark on their wrist on each side, but you've got them on the shoulder. She was like, oh, I'll respect you for that. And she gave me a bag of prawn crackers as a result.
Aye. But that's
yay! Free bag of prawn crackers.
Well, I got them done years ago. And I'm notorious for going out for tattoos. I'm just totally spontaneous. I'll come back with tattoos. So I went out and got that tattoo done years ago. And I came back, hadn't told the other half that I'd got it. So when I came back in, was like changing my top over, obviously. And he says to me, you're bleeding, are you okay? And I says, aye, it's just the tattoo, it's fine. He says, what did you get done? And I said, I got this done. He says, oh, what does that say? And I went, young, free and single. He says, well, you better get back to that tattooist to get the single taken out of it. And I was like, that's not what it says, you daddy. So,
Oh,
That's exactly why I'm so cautious with languages I don't understand.
I'm not
Especially
doing
tattoo-wise.
I don't think I'll get my if I get language, it will be Gaelic saying fuckle too. So hear the sound in the first word. Fuckle too.
No,
to me, it sounds like fuck you too.
Yeah, so what, Shane?
To me, it sounds like fuck you too.
Ding, ding,
like
ding,
that.
ding, 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 ding.
Hey, we have a winner.
Listen to the sound of the word in Gaelic. Fuckle too.
See, in Polish, I know how to say spiatale. Spiatale means basically cough in Polish, right? So this one time he had a and I said spiatale. And he says, oh, what does that mean like? And I said, it means I love you in Polish. So what it means, I thought I was hee-hawing and laughing. He says, no, that's not what it means. And I was like, it's Lois's way of saying, I love you.
Robert, I'm not really. I'm just, it is what it is. It says, not really. That's never like me, ever. Like, ever. I can't help what it means in Irish, fuckle too.
Fuckle too.
Yeah.
Fuckle too.
I love it.
Yes. Pug Mahone August fuckle too. Pug Mahone
Pops in the question. If we're talking about EVP, coming back to the subject, but and tattoos now. And tattoos we would like. There is someone, I can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody who had caught an EVP for the first time, and it was a class A, so everybody could hear it. And they tattooed the audio line.
The barcode.
Yeah. Oh, you did it as well.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask, would you do that with your first caught class A EVP?
Yes, I definitely 110% would. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah,
I think you're telling lies, Mr. Mark.
I think that's a good idea. I'd like to have that song that Tiny Tim did, "Tiptoe Through the Tulips."
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I hear that song. I can't help but think of it here from the movie, the Insidious movie, because that song's always playing in Insidious.
Oh,
I I hate that song. I get
I really want to get a
from it.
wee thing and start strumming.
Excuse me.
And then someone
You know that sort of strumming? I'll do that privately off camera.
I was going to say, keep it clean, please.
I can't even
It's a
make it.
children's program. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
It's okay. My big boss up in the corner there will scalp my hand. Nick.
Don't get Nick involved in your strumming.
PG Ray.
Why not?
We are way beyond PG Ray, Rob.
Why not? It was Nick that taught me. I didn't know anything about strumming until I met Nick.
You need to stop talking while you're ahead, Willow.
Nick's sitting there going, "Oh my God, don't blame me."
You always want to blame me for everything.
Hashtag I blame Nick.
Nick's fault.
Right.
Now he's
There he goes. He goes
crying.
like, "Oh
Now
no."
he's crying. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
See what fun I caused?
Well, we are going to do planning on doing this panel every single month. I don't know if it's good for people, but they have to get back to level to do it again.
I think
Especially when
Yeah,
Lois
I know
starts
you
doing
would,
weird
no.
shit on turn.
it's
I
nice to
think
mix
it's
the
just-
serious with the comical. You know, have a bit of fun while you're being serious.
Absolutely.
Well, if you want serious, you're going to have to eject me. I couldn't be serious even if I tried. You should see the way I run my
Never,
podcast.
You can do it for
never
like
going to happen.
Willow, you can do it for about 5 minutes and then it's not you. It's not who we know you are. It's not you. So you gotta just do you and be you and do you. Because if you're serious, we're thinking something's wrong. You know, we're thinking like,
I think I was.
what's happening? What's
I
wrong?
would have done.
Actually, Robert, it's not orange. It's red. Actually, Robert, it's not orange. It's red that you guys are seeing
It's for Valentine.
for Valentine's
Oh.
Day. Every time, and I always say this a lot, but you know what? It really reminds me of this red light. Kind of actually reminds me. I'm sure some people know this. It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when Kramer had the chicken roaster sign and it made his whole room red. You guys remember that episode?
Yeah.
What's going? He's like, what's going on in there? Like that light, all the red. Right.
So on Friday, Nick.
Like, can't shut the shades. They are shut.
On Friday, Nick, are you going to do a live wearing a big love heart suit or something?
Wasn't thinking that way.
Yeah, you
Come on with a rose in your mouth. You'd be like,
I have gotten some people asking, how's life on the red planet?
Is it cold on Mars?
Yeah, usually you do, Robert.
Oh, no.
I love Mark's comment. I'm worried about joining you guys now. You're
I know, Mark. Hey, Mark.
It's something they say. Be scared. Be very scared.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're trying our best to get a subject to talk about, and it's completely
Subject.
Well, no, I mean we've had the subject, but as with most conversations, that subject morphs into something else. But there's been a link between it, and on the odd occasion, you might start off, and judging by my memory of the last hour and 10 minutes, I think we did go back to the original subject on 2 occasions.
We did.
No, we definitely
we
did.
did.
So we came off subject, but there was a link there, and we ended up going back to the original subject, and then we went off again. And I think
We got all wires crossed.
That's what I think. That's what makes doing something like this more enjoyable, because although we do have a serious side, we do go off on a tangent and talk about other things and have a good giggle and a laugh, but then we still manage to bring it back and carry on with the serious side. Okay, it goes to pot again, but
I blame that.
I love it. I love it. But I'm a bit worried because next time we are going to talk about poltergeist.
Poltergeist, okay.
Good luck with that.
I would love to be shake, rattled, and roll.
I think I might need. I think I might need to be absent for that one. I think I might be doing my hair that night. Please, Everton, be on TV again.
Oh my god!
Same as myself. It looks like I haven't done anything with my hair, but I have straightened my hair. But it's like, help, my hair is haunted. So you're talking to a guy. There.
Oh my god!
You need Lois, you need a polter comb.
A polter
or a polter brush.
That's a bit the way we go.
Yep, you've just met a poltergeist.
Yeah. Live and calm. Live and calm.
Oh my goodness, Chantal.
Yeah, you definitely need a polter brush.
Chantal is saying, and here I am.
That sounds like that could be like a brand name of some sort.
Or I'm actually eating fried chicken.
You know what? I think I might actually patent that and invent the polter brush. Get those nasty spirits out of your hair with the new polter brush.
When I was Pebbles from the Flintstones. We Pebbles.
Oh my
god. No, I look like I'm a spider.
I gotta throw this out, for a polter comb, and Lois, you know where I'm gonna go with this, but I don't know if we could really say the same for someone like Scott, of course, who doesn't have any hair.
Do you know what? There's nothing wrong with a man that hasn't got hair. There's just a problem with Scott.
Well, I was expecting you were going to say his nickname.
With the baldy bastard.
Yeah.
But remember, guys, nowadays you can't call anybody baldy because it's sexual harassment.
Oh, that's right.
So I can see me getting a lot of sexual harassment cases if I start running about shouting baldy.
Chantal.
Especially Shane.
Oh my.
He'll be like that. I'll be putting one in.
Don't start, Chantal.
We're getting too politically correct, and with this latest thing over here in the UK, we've got a Labour minister has turned around and said it's okay to identify as a llama. So somebody very quickly has turned around and said, I identify as a llama and you cannot charge a llama council tax. So I will no longer be paying my council tax.
And this is what I say on that.
It's okay, Jenny. I'll translate for you. What Jenny actually said was.
But I must admit, what this guy was saying was pretty damn good, because we've got to a stage where how can you identify as a llama? You don't look like a llama. You don't smell like a llama. You don't poop like a llama. And you don't live where a llama lives.
And most importantly, you don't spit like a llama.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, honestly, you can't charge a llama council tax. So this bloke is using it against them.
I can't. I cannot. And you know what? I am, and I will stand for the people of the older people. And if we say exactly what we think, it's not our fault. It's because the generations behind us are.
Yeah. I think it's because we've spent too much time wrapping the next generation below us in bubble wrap, protecting them from everything. And so as a result, they've grown up getting all these weird ideas into their heads, and they're completely so out of place that it's confusing them. Teaching them the wrong things at the wrong age just makes their situation worse. They need to just stick to the standard things that they need to learn to grow up with, rather than ideologies that they don't need to come into until they're in their 20s.
I'll help you. As a cat, I'm bringing her to the vet for vaccinations. I'm getting her fucking neutered, and then she's going to have a litter tray in my house that she can shit in, because it will save me on toilet papers. If she ever identifies as a cat, then I will treat you as a cat.
Yeah.
Vaccinations are being neutered. You have a litter tray, and it saves me on toilet paper. I just can't do it. I cannot do it. No.
Yeah. Someone turns around and says they identify as a cat. There's the litter tray. You lick your own backside.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, listen, guys, I identify as a bed, and that's only because, well, I'm sitting on it.
That's where you spend most of your time?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Out there. Because that's where I'd be. I'd spend all my time in bed if I could get away with it.
Oh, honey.
If you heard
no such luck in my house. I have to be up early. I have to go to bed early or late, depending on which way you look at it. 5 hours sleep a night. I love it.
Guys, I'm going to have to sadly depart just now because I've got something to do. So, you guys take care. Thank you very much to you guys for even having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for this opportunity, guys. Thank you, everybody, obviously, in the chat. And you'll see me for the third time in a row this week tomorrow. I swear to God, I'm making myself that gobshite that's always on the air. But everybody, you take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you real soon. And thank you very much, guys.
Love you, darling. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Microwave. Too late. You've gone. I'm thinking now of different things to say when I leave a show. So I've got just saying toodles or microwave.
Random words. Just random words.
Yeah.
Just random.
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that then later.
Yeah. We are on air 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we are closing off the live, but we are going to talk background later on. Much more.
Of course.
So we're going to wrap this thing, and Shane is going to do that. And talk to you.
It's a wrap.
I
didn't mean it like that.
Thank you.
It's a wrap.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been
we need a proper clapperboard.
Actually, we do.
Yes.
You need a clipboard.
Yeah, like, and then put your finger in between.
No,
I mean, come to think of it now, my birthday is just a couple weeks, so maybe I could try to ask for a clipboard. For my birthday.
Yes, Nick.
I'll get
Yes.
the clipboard. You'll get the clipboard. You'll get the clipboard. You'll get clipboard. And that's a wrap.
All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining us in this panel, which is
Thank
very
you.
funny, noticeably.
yes.
I love doing this. We're gonna do this every month. I swear, we're gonna do this every month.
Yeah, we're doing it
We
every
have
month.
to.
Yeah.
This is great.
And of course,
it's a lot of fun.
we hope Nick will be in time.
Yeah. Hopefully not with another snowstorm.
Well, I don't want to be an asshole, but there's a snowstorm and you were on time. If there's nothing, you're
Yeah,
too late.
that's true. Yeah.
You need snow more often, Nick.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we do. I just wish we could have had it, of course, back during the holiday Christmas season.
Yeah, no.
We'll get it in summer here in Ireland. Watch, we'll get it in summer. Is it snowing in Ireland in summertime? Yes, it is.
Oh, more people are tuning in now.
Yeah.
Nick, what I will do is I will find someone in your area and pay them to stand on your roof with some fake snow and tip it past your window so you think there's a snowstorm.
Yeah,
Anybody out there,
nice.
you know, just a big bag full of polystyrene balls will do. Just tip it over the window. Make you think it's snowing.
I can see in images. I swear to God, I
No.
can see somebody standing there.
I've got an image in my head now and I want to draw it. I want to draw this image of Nick looking out the window and seeing these polystyrene balls with his fan on the roof.
I can already picture that happening. Like me coming back from work and there's a guy sitting on the roof.
That was a very quick snow. Very quick snow.
I can't understand. It's nice and sunny that side of the house. It's just
Yeah,
snowing here.
GoFundMe. There you go, Chantel. Nick, GoFundMe for his computer tech. And speaking of which, my battery has died, so I got to plug in my laptop.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna exit this live because it's gonna get worse from here, and we have to go back in the back to talk some more, and it's gonna be
Yes.
laugh a lot.
Yes, of course.
Everybody,
Nice.
thank you for watching, and
Take
we hope
care.
to see you in the next panel and in the next lives.
Slán
Yes.
go
See you
fóill.
guys.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Microwave.
Bye.